Loktarogar. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, everyone's favorite orc warrior, and it's time for another orc mode workout. I've noticed my right spinal erector and glute were cramping today when I got up, even though I didn't do any training this weekend. And again, a lot of it seems to be a symptom from the overhead pressing. I feel like maybe I strained some of my erectors. So I'm not going to totally baby them. I'm going to go ahead and train. I'm just going to be very careful with what I do while I'm letting that heal. So today I decided to go just a hair lighter and just do pause squats on my squats. Just get nice and deep, do a pause, you know, with a moderate weight here. This is 315, guys. I know people are like, oh my God, you're doing rep work with 315. Yeah, but the nice long pauses, it still gave a good burn, and I'm hoping that if my back is feeling good on Wednesday, I'm sorry, this is Wednesday, on Friday I'll come back and I'll go ahead and get back up heavier like I was doing on Monday. So I just feel like, yeah, I need to make sure that's okay. But interestingly enough, deficit deadlifts didn't bother it at all. I didn't feel anything. And I didn't feel anything on the squats. It's actually walking. Like walking up to the squat bar, I notice it. But the actual squatting, I don't feel anything. So it's not really related to any of that. It seems to be that overhead press. I seem to have felt it when I was overhead pressing. So again, I'm just going to take this one day at a time with that. And ultimately, what we need to remember about back pain and stuff is that the worst thing you can do is to nurse back pain unless you know that there's an actual serious problem. And this is what doctors and experts I know who are into lifting all say. I've heard this from numerous sources who are themselves MDs who train. That's actually not a good thing. You can exacerbate a problem because most back pain goes away. And it's not like I'm experiencing anything that I think is related to the disc. It's my spinal erector. I think I actually strained a spinal erector overhead pressing, and I've always said that the standing press I think is one of the hardest lifts on your back. It's a great lift, but it's tough on your back. I think it's harder than deadlifting. It's way harder than deadlifting, or squatting for that matter, just in my experience. So I thought, this will still give me some good work in, and I can go nice and hard on the other stuff, and I did. I bumped the weight up slightly on some of my secondary lifts, and of course my hook grip deadlift I went up a little bit, which is good. That hook grip is coming along nice. So everything else is going good here. And of course I made a video this morning discussing my arm work. And I'm thinking at this point, I did kind of see how I looked on camera, talk with some other coaches and people I know, showed them, and yeah, I mean, everyone says I probably need to drop about 10 more pounds before I appear shirtless on camera. But I'm consistently under 220 now. I went up a pound this morning compared to the first 2 days this week, but usually I fluctuate more than that. So I was up to 219 this morning after being 218 2 days in a row. So that's good. I'm staying under that 220 mark, and so we just keep pushing downward from there. Yeah, I'm thinking another 10 pounds. It might be time to actually, have my shirt off on camera again. People can see the difference. I was surprised when I got on camera that I looked fatter than I thought I would compared to the mirror, but I also looked a lot bigger. Like I don't look that big in the mirror. My arms and chest and everything, they don't look that big when I see it in the mirror versus the camera. So there was good and bad. But yeah, another 10 pounds. We'll probably do some shirtless stuff for people to assess and just kind of see for themselves, where I'm at. Obviously, I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not going to get bodybuilder peeled, but I'm going to keep dieting. And again, it's about maintaining my strength and doing a workout that normal people could do. I mean, I know the Bulgarian type stuff I was doing is not going to be for everyone to do, and everyone realizes that. I feel like what I'm doing right now for training, I think the sort of routines I'm doing at the moment, this 3-day-a-week full body stuff, I think is doable for the average person, right? Even with a fairly busy lifestyle, I think this is doable. Totally doable. So this is probably a better representation of what I should be promoting for people out there instead of the absolute bleeding edge daily max squats and all that stuff. Will I need to do some of that again later? Yeah. If I start deciding time to start getting ready for any sort of competition or seeing where my maxes are again, it'd be time to do all that. But I feel like this is going to sound silly. I'm agreeing more with guys like Ripto. I think five rep sets for all around base building for most of your lifts is a good number to work with. It strikes a good balance between intensity and fatigue. Absolutely does, to be around roughly 5s. Yeah. So again, right now, because I'm not liking the way the overhead press is doing with my back, we're doing Squats, we're doing closed grip bench press with a pause. We're doing Skullcrushers as, again, a multi-joint version, which I need to get a little more shoulder movement in it. I realized that watching this one today. I need to get a little more shoulder movement in it. Weighted pull-ups, deficit hook grip deadlifts without a belt, and then my standing cheek curls. And I think that'll give me the good balance, because that addresses my weak points. My arms are a weak point. They look like it here. They didn't look like it so much when I looked at the footage I had once I was up and shirtless, but they could still stand to be bigger. And it's mainly because things like my chest and stuff is so big due to my rib cage size. So it's probably a good idea. I mean, and it'll improve my performance overall. It'll make me better at benching. It'll make me better at pull-ups. And that'll make me better all around, because those are my bread and butter exercises right now. For my upper body, my closed grip bench and my pull-ups are my main exercises. That's where my real focus is. So these exercises, these secondary ones here, are going to help with the weak points in those lifts. I mean, I need stronger arms. Bigger arms will help me with my overall development, because this is a possible weak link for me. So yeah, I'm going to keep doing these, both the Skullcrushers and the cheek curls. Pull-ups went pretty good today. I might need to start bumping the weight up a hair on these, because they're definitely getting easier. I feel like I'm not working as hard as I was when I was 5 pounds heavier or so. They're getting a lot easier. So I need to start micro-loading these up. Especially when last week, I think I had that day I chose not to squat, and I did an extra set of bench and an extra set of pull-ups. When I'm able to do an extra set of these with this same weight, might be time to start adding weight. Probably at that point. And that's a good thing. I, at the very least, need to be offsetting my weight loss, so that I'm getting the same workload in, so that we don't risk losing muscle. That gets real important. But yeah, I'm getting to the point where these are getting easier. I'm getting more proficient at them. I'm getting the motor pattern down better. I mean, the fact that I'm losing weight and losing fat helps. I mean, losing weight, if you're losing muscle, you may not get that much better at pull-ups. But the fact that I'm losing substantial amounts of body fat is really making these easier, as far as this relative weight. Because I'm having to, basically, my fat ass is getting less fat. So I'm not pulling up as much lard. And there's still a fair amount there. I mean, I'm probably 19% body fat now. I mean, if I estimate based off my last DEXA scan, and assuming only 80% of the weight I'm losing is fat and 20% is lean mass, I'm at 19% right now. If I based it off of my last scan, and with that assumption that it's only 80% weight loss is fat, which would be pretty good. That's probably ideal. So, and it's probably about right. That's probably a good estimate at this point. So just keep moving forward. We're going to hit that 15% this year, and then take it from there. But yeah, I mean, again, this training is going good. I find this to be pretty enjoyable. It's relatively fatiguing, but it's like I get a day off between. I'm only having to do this 3 days a week. I feel like I get to recover in between. And again, because I have 4 days where I'm not lifting, I don't worry about eating breakfast and stuff. It lets me get tighter control of my food on those days. I can focus more on protein and not really eat as much in general. Fill up on protein and vegetables, and it's going pretty good. The deadlifts coming up. I went ahead and bumped it another 10 pounds for the hook grip stuff, and it felt comfortable. My thumbs and me getting that hook set right is going pretty well. Now, we know when I was at the peak of messing with this and really trying to push it, I got up to 515, but I got to where I could barely pull 400 because my thumbs were hurting so much after that. So I think if we just keep doing this gradual and just, 3 day a week pull, I'm going to be able to keep increasing this and be using the lifting shoes to create a deficit. And I'm using my stiff bar here too, my stiffest bar, so there's less whip. I think that's the making it harder is going to help. I'm going to get some training response from it. And as I get stronger, I'm going to get more and more training response. When I start getting up towards 500 plus every day, I'll probably actually get some real benefit out of it besides just the grip end. I bumped the weight slightly on the curls today, as you guys can see. I didn't get quite as many reps. But again, these are cheek curls and they're done as a multi-joint exercise. But again, I need more tension. Because honestly, guys, I don't think there's much in the way of benefit of doing more than 5 or 6 reps if it makes you reduce weight. Ultimately, for most of my lifts, I'd like to be lifting as heavy as I can for about 4 to 6 reps on everything, including exercises like this. So that's what I'm doing. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.